Hello, everyone, and welcome to Peopleic Notes. My name is Michael Kirkchin, and today is Sunday, May the 22nd, 2022, and welcome to my channel. The topic today is going to be one that really is the first time I'm observing it this way, and it's going to be Metcalfe's law when it comes to Bitcoin. It's actually very interesting. I'm looking forward to sharing this with you. Before I get started, this is not financial advice, just a full disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a investor in this cryptocurrency space, and I am a big fan of the space. And hence, I'm just sharing with you what I know and what I'm doing in the space. Please do your own research and take everything that I say with a grain of salt. What I'd like to do is, everyone, I'd like to share with you my computer screen and also show you what I'm looking at right now with when it comes to do with Metcalfe's law. So when it comes to Metcalfe's law, obviously, it's very simple to look at that. What really says, Metcalfe's law really basically focuses on the fact that a network's impact is the square number of nodes in a network. For example, a network that's got 10 nodes, Metcalfe's law says 10 times 10, that means that network is worth 100. Now, what does that mean when it comes to Bitcoin? If you look at what Bitcoin is doing right now, what I did is I looked at Bitcoin's data from really the beginning of time. And if we look at basically what's happened with as far as all the ownership, all the addresses, and so forth with Bitcoin, there's a great site that does on-chain analysis, which is called Into the Block, which I use. Now, the thing, of course, with on-chain analysis is to pay attention to the fact that this could be easily manipulated, meaning that somebody can have 10 wallet addresses, and what they can do then is basically they can take that and then merge it into 10 small wallets, or have one big wallet split into 10 small wallets. That means that this can be manipulated. So that's why take a look at it, but look at it with a grain of salt. If you look at the daily active addresses with on-the-chain analysis, what they've done basically is that they've actually compiled all the addresses of how many addresses are out there as far as holding Bitcoin. And if you look at the total number of addresses, they've actually put all this together, and they've actually broken it down with, let's say, for example, as far as they can have it with, let's say, from 0 to 1, 0 to 0.1 Bitcoin, or they can have it, let's say, as far as 1 to 10 Bitcoin and so forth. So they've done a very nice breakdown of what all the total addresses are. What I did myself is I actually downloaded this, because I like to basically chart this and show you what I'm looking at as far as Metcalfe's law is with these addresses. So if you look at, obviously we understand if this, we pay attention where Bitcoin is right now, we understand that since last November, Bitcoin has really been in bear market territory. We've kind of seen the price of Bitcoin go down quite a bit with this entire macro space as well. We see how last November Bitcoin's price was something in the range of $6,000-7,000. And now we are, if you look at what's going on with the weekly 20-week SMA and 21-week EMA, we realize that we've kind of been in this bear market territory since last December with Bitcoin. And we can actually look at it even with the daily indicators. We see that we've been below the 200-day moving average for Bitcoin, which is this red line here. So obviously, once we go below this 200-day moving average, then we definitely are in a bear market territory. Now, why is it important for us to take a look at this Metcalfe's law when it comes to Bitcoin? Because obviously, as we realize what definition says really is that the network is worth basically the number of nodes times the number of nodes. And if you look at, if we download all this data, we see that from the beginning of time, which is basically, I guess Bitcoin started on January 3rd, 2009. Obviously, this could be plus or minus different dates, but we know that Bitcoin's been around since around 2009, 2010. And if you look at what the number of addresses were, basically initially on day one, it looks like there was one node, right? And then afterwards, there was still one node for the first couple of days. And all of a sudden, we had 15 nodes. So all of a sudden, the network value went from 1, which is n squared, to 15 times 15, which is 225. Obviously, we're seeing here, as the number of nodes are increasing, the n squared is increasing as well. Now, I charted this just to kind of see what's going on with all this. And what I did is that I use basically one data point is going to be my N square, and the second data point is going to be Bitcoin's price. Now, if you look at it on a larger graph, we see that it's very interesting, basically, that Bitcoin's price obviously has been going on up and down. It's played around quite a bit, and it's got all these different price points or these different patterns. Of course, it's the market price changes on a day-to-day basis, depending on the supply and demand and buyers and sellers. But what's very interesting is that the N squared number has really been increasing pretty much since day one. There was this period where there was a divergence. It looks like in 2007, 2018, it looks like the number of N squared, when it got to something in range of around 800,000, then it went down eventually, and then it recovered and it went back up again. If you look at the data of 2017 to 2018, we're going to see that basically it's very interesting that basically right over here, let's go to 2007, 2018, we observed that the N squared, which is, I will put this in, I will put this as freeze pane so that we can look at it easily. And then if you look at what's going on basically from 2007 to 2018, we see that at a certain point, this N squared number, which is the number of nodes times the number of nodes, it went to 200. This is really, look at this number right. This is going to be, as the number of nodes is at 50 million. So I mean that it can be 50 million times 50 million. So this is going to be, the exact number for this is going to be 241 trillion, right? Because this 389 million, 729 billion, 241 trillion. So once this number got to the number of nodes being in the range of 27 million, then it looks like what's happened is that at 27 million, at a certain point, right over here, it started going back down again, which is very interesting. So basically, it got 27 million, then 28 million, then it started going back down again, 27 million, 26 million, 25, 24, and so forth, 21. And then afterwards, it started going right back up again. Hence, that's why on this graph, we're seeing that number of nodes, this N squared number, at a certain point, it went down, and then it kept on going back up again. So this is really interesting. And I liked looking at this because really it shows us how, regardless of what the yellow chart is telling us about Bitcoin's price, that's kind of irrelevant, because the network itself has actually gained tremendous value versus where it started on day one, when one node, when it was a value of 1. So this is very interesting, and I'd like to share this with you because I find this really a complete different way of seeing the network and seeing how really it's appreciated in the last many years since day one. So thanks so much for watching, everyone, and look forward to sharing with you some other videos in coming days. Bye bye.